In the early 1800s, British ships arrived on the shores of Tasmania, marking the first contact between European settlers. By the 1820s, British settlers began to forcibly seize Aboriginal lands for farming and settlements. The Indigenous people, who relied on the land for survival, resisted fiercely. In response, the British launched brutal massacres, often targeting entire communities. Armed soldiers and settlers burned huts, destroyed food sources, and killed indiscriminately. The violence escalated rapidly, with Aboriginal warriors fighting back using spears and guerrilla tactics. Despite their resistance, the overwhelming firepower and organization of the British forces led to devastating losses for the Aboriginal population. From 1824 to 1831, the British government declared martial law, initiating the Black War, a systematic military campaign to eliminate Aboriginal resistance. British troops, aided by armed settlers, conducted relentless raids into Aboriginal territories. Bounties were placed on Aboriginal heads, and massacres became commonplace. The Aboriginal population, already decimated by violence and disease, was pushed to the brink of extinction. Despite their courage and resilience, the Indigenous people were no match for the organized and well-equipped British forces. In the 1830s and 1840s, the few surviving Tasmanian Aboriginal people were forcibly removed to Flinders Island, a barren and inhospitable internment camp. Promised protection and education, they instead faced neglect, disease, and cultural erasure. The harsh conditions of the camp accelerated their physical and spiritual decline. Children were separated from their families, and traditional practices were banned. By the late 1800s, the full-blooded Tasmanian Aboriginal population had virtually disappeared, marking one of the darkest chapters in colonial history. By the late 1800s, the Tasmanian Aboriginal people had been nearly wiped out. The last full-blooded Aboriginal person, Truganini, died in 1876, symbolizing the end of an entire culture. The British colonization had achieved its goal. The land was now fully under their control, and the Indigenous people were erased from history. Today, efforts are being made to acknowledge and honor the memory of the Tasmanian Aboriginal people, but the scars of genocide remain. Their story serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of colonialism and the importance of preserving Indigenous cultures.